Don't stand in front of him, but like.
Do you need amplification?
All right, you got it? All right, everybody. Who got the list?
Okay.
Don't do it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Bonjour tout le monde. Buenos dias todos. Thank you for being here. We are here not as individuals, but we are here as a united voice fighting for our immigrants who have paid taxes, who sustain all industries in the United States. And now we are under attack.
Yes!
So we're here to let them know, number one, we are there with them, and we will fight until the very end.
Yes!
Secondly, I want you to know that we are going to speak loud and clear. Immigrants are not a burden. Are immigrants a burden?
No!
They are a blessing.
Yes!
They are our family.
Yes!
They are our neighbors.
Yes!
They are our classmates.
Yes!
So they are us.
Yes!
So they help build our communities, power our economy, and enrich our culture. America is a nation of immigrants, and our strength comes from our diversity. Let's all repeat. Our strength comes from our diversity. But today, too many of our brothers and sisters live in fear. They're hiding. They're not going to church. They're not going to the supermarket. They can't even take their children to school. Is that a way to live? No! Too many families are separated and too many contributions are undervalued. That's why we rally today to demand comprehensive immigration reform, to protect DACA, and to fight against inhumane deportation, and to stand up for a pathway to citizenship that reflects our values as a just and compassionate nation. So we are so grateful for you to be here. And I have to apologize. We cannot speak on a speaker because we were not able to. However, I'm hoping all of you will get the message. It is a pleasure for me to really introduce some of our speakers. And I am going to start with we can give me a minute. Let me get the list. Najeda? I have it. All right. All right, so it is a great pleasure for me to start with Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick. She is fighting this battle, and she needs all of us. So it is great pleasure for me to introduce our first speaker, Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here and standing side by side with us when we fight this fight. This fight is a personal fight for me and everybody who's standing here. We've heard so much rhetoric demonizing our immigrants, making people believe by somehow, some way or frame, all immigrants are actually illegal criminals. This is a lie that has been consistently being told. Who are our immigrants? We're here. Look at our faces. We are members of Congress. We are elected officials. We are hardworking people. Right now, we're looking at more than 1.2 million people who will be sent home. Not just Haitian people, not just Venezuelan people, not just Cuban people. I can continue on with this list and go on and on about who these people really are. But let me tell you their stories. We have people who have been here for more than 25 years, who have raised their kids here, who have children who are Marines, who are actually Navy SEALs, who serve this country. We have people who are pregnant right now, and overnight they were made illegal, which means we have pregnant women who cannot go to the doctor, who are trying to contemplate how they can deliver their babies at home. We have people who have cancer treatment, who overnight have been told they were illegal after paying taxes in this country and working hard in this country, who've been told that they are illegal. I have pastors who've been coming to me and they say, Sheila, I need you to do something for me. And so this message I am putting out, they said to come to them and talk to them about faith. If we are a nation of Christians, how can we be so cruel to the most needed people? The people who came to this country with nothing and have served this country over and over again. The people who have continuously even laid their life. Some of our veterans are immigrants who are being deported. Their wife, their children are being deported. Who are we as a country if we cannot be strong and compassionate at the same time? America as a country has been strong because we do both. That's how we have led the country. We have to be honest and stop believing the fear-mongering. We need to stop spreading these lies about who immigrants are. We are not who you say we are. Look at us. We're here right now in front of you. And so we ask this administration to re-look and rethink about these policies. This idea that immigrants are taking the jobs of Americans, it's false. And to send more than 1.2 million people without even filling those jobs, without even training people to take those jobs, only hurts the American public. It hurts the Americans through our economy. It's going to hurt all the patients who are in facilities. It hurts everyone. So why would we take on this policy? Because we've had racists who said negative things about immigrants. That's not true. Because we have people who call themselves white nationalists, who hate immigrants, who think we're taking over. It's time for America to take back our story of greatness by rejecting white nationalists, by rejecting those who hate, by rejecting everyone who comes against us. And it's time for us to stand up for our greatness and have fair policies and embrace our immigrants. The same way they embrace the Irish, embrace us. The same way you embrace the Italians, embrace us. The same way you embrace every single white immigrant, embrace us too, because we have given our life to this country. I have grandparents who came to this country, they served this country, they gave to this country, and they died here. We deserve a voice. We deserve to have care. Our communities deserve to be not living in fear. For what? And so I thank everybody here who's helping us fight in the community. Because this fight is not just in the community. We're fighting in the courthouse, and we have some litigation that's working for us. But we need more than that. We need Congress to step up. We need every single member, Republican member, Democratic member. Nobody's mouth should be closed at this moment. Because if you shut your mouth now, when they come for you, what are you going to do? We need everybody standing here fighting together. I don't care what color you are, what background you are. You should be here fighting with us right here and right now. This is an attack against us and our community, but an attack against America. The lies need to stop. And so I thank everyone who's being strong and being here, because everyone who is here is not afraid. And we are not afraid to even work with the administration. But let's be honest about what's being said. It is not true. This is a time for us to come together and actually put policies and be fair. There's no reason people should be masked, coming into our communities, throwing people on the ground, going into our hospitals with honest people and handcuffing them. That is not dignified. They do not deserve that. They did everything correct. It was this policy that made them illegal overnight. They were never illegal before then. And so I ask everybody to continue fighting, continue pushing, and I thank you for being here. And I'll pass it over to Gitel, our
Congresswoman, really quick. Have you been able to go inside alligator Alcatraz? Have you seen these conditions and what this facility
We haven't gone. We're planning a trip. We've been in D.C. fighting this big, ugly bill that devastates everyone. And so we're planning on making that meeting and going into it. But the fight is everywhere. It's not just with alligator Alcatraz. Look at how people are living. How are you going into hospitals? How are you threatening to go into schools? Nobody should be living in fear. And it's not just immigrants. Americans are living in fear that they might get swept up. There is no due process in what they're doing.
All right, we're going to hold off on questions until the conclusion of the press conference.
Yes, yes. We do have, thank you, Representative. We have a list of speakers, and we're asking all speakers 2 minutes, please, because your voices are so important. So I am going, my next speaker will be Palm Beach speaker, Edwin Ferguson. Join us.
Good morning, advocates. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm attorney Edwin Ferguson. I happen to be a Palm Beach County School Board member. First things first, I'm not speaking on behalf of the school board nor the school district, but I'm here because of our children, our most precious resource. What's happening right now in the USA is a travesty. We are separating children from their parents. In Palm Beach County, we have a saying that all children that come to our school district will be educated, affirmed, and inspired. What are we educating our children as to the state of the USA with what's happening right now? As the rep said, we have many persons who supposedly migrated here illegally who are doing God's work, helping keep buttressing up this society, buttressing up this country. And now we have shuttled them away to this alligator Alcatraz or wherever they're going to right now. For what? How are we inspiring our children when you see that your parents, your uncles, your grandparents are being shuttled off to parts unknown? For what? They've been gainfully employed, doing what they need to do, paying taxes, being good American citizens. What are we doing right now? So you said 2 minutes. Stay engaged. Always continue to educate yourself and speak up. The war is not over. Let's do it.
I appreciate you abiding by the timeline and hope everybody else will do so. So our next speaker is Michaela. Is Michaela here?
Yeah, she's here.
All right, Michaela from Florida
Come forward,
Rising.
Michaela.
Florida Rising has been so instrumental in this. So come here, Michaela.
I wrote something, sorry.
Who's that?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Michaela. Michaela Lewis. Okay. Good morning everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Michaela Lewis. And I just want to start off by saying I myself am an immigrant. I am a daughter of Haiti, and my family and I came to this country with hope for safety, opportunity, and the chance to build a better life, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. That's the story of so many immigrants. And we don't come here to take, we come here to build. But too often, instead of welcome, we're met with fear, cruelty, and policies designed to exclude us. And that's why I'm here today to speak out against these policies and to stand with you calling for change. We support TPS, which is temporary protected status, because
We can't hear you. Please try a little harder.
Okay. Because the conditions in countries like Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, they're heartbreaking. In Haiti right now, schools are closed, people are being kidnapped, and many lives are in constant fear. And no one should be forced to return to a place where their life is in danger. And we stand against the ban that target our communities. We stand against the 287G agreement that fuels fear and tears families apart. And we stand for humanitarian programs because they affirm something simple but powerful, that our lives have value. Immigrants are not the threat, we are the center. We're your caregivers, we are your neighbors, and we are your co-workers. And we are the backbone of this nation, workforce is a part of this diversity. So today we raise our voices in your community to say that we matter, we belong, and we will keep fighting for a just and compassionate system that honors our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then bear with us. If we keep it quiet, perhaps the voices will project better. So our next speaker is Cher. Pierre. Is Cher here, please? All right. Next speaker is Nefer Rojas. Nestor, please join us.
Whoever's next, let them
So first of all, show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like. This is why we're here. This is true democracy in the face of these fascist attacks on our communities that makes us great. So my name is Carlos with Semillas Colombia, highlighting many cases, particularly some of the ones that are here right now. Mr. Carlos Ortega, he is HIV positive. He is right now inside with not an access to his medicine. His life is in danger. Why? Because of the horrific nature of this politics of today, because of the demonizations of communities that have always been in this country and that have always made this country great. And so we're demanding that he's allowed out and he's allowed to continue his asylum process. And we're here because of the history. We know we're here, and the bill that just passed, doing triple the size of ICE, horrific, while at the same time cutting healthcare for everybody in this country. But we're here because of the history, and it's all the same struggle. Because we're here because in 2003, ICE was created after 9/11 to surveil the Muslim communities and oppress them. But we're also here because back then you had something called COINTELPRO, which was set up to also surveil black communities in the black power struggles. So we know it's all the same process, it's all the same system, and it's beautiful to see all this solidarity, people of all colors, of all races, of all nationalities, white allies, everybody's here, so it's great. So finally, to culminate, we're here because what makes this country great is migrants. We're here because what does it mean to be a great country? It means to welcome migrants. What it means to be great, it means welcoming all of these people that need to be here. So we are asking ourselves, what kind of country do we need to be?
Guys, remember 2 minutes.
So just to finalize, what country are we asking ourselves to be? A country that builds bridges, not barriers. A country that builds welcoming spaces, not concentration camps like this. So again, in this beautiful solidarity, let's stand together and fight back for this.
Thank you so much. I don't like to be rude, so please forgive me. We're trying to stay on time. Our next speaker will be Siaka Toure. Siaka Toure.
Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. For too long, we have seen the United States government attack black and brown people. Mothers and fathers have been torn apart and displaced by this administration's policies. Our friends and family members are being dehumanized and treated as if they are animals. But I want to remind you, this is not about keeping our community safe. This is about a profit. The GEO group has private prisons and detention centers all over this country, and their headquarters is located right here in Florida. They are estimated to make billions of dollars off of the unjust deportation of our friends and family members. So we stand here today to expose and condemn the 287 agreement, which is a terrorizing alliance between the state and the police force that turns our local police departments into ICE agents and act as an extension of an inhumane immigration system. This agreement is not about public safety, it's about colonial control and domination. It's about terrorizing African, indigenous, and Latino people here in Florida and across the nation. We demand an end to all 287 ICE agreements. We demand community control of the police. We also demand the immediate release of all immigrants who have been detained. And we also demand reparations from the United States government to Haiti for stealing $500,000 of gold in 1913. So I'm calling for all Africans and all indigenous people and all white and solidarity forces to stand in unison with our Haitian brothers and sisters, with our Latino brothers and sisters, and with our indigenous brothers and sisters. And let's be clear, The first so-called immigrants arrived here on the boat centuries ago. And they were not coming here for better opportunity. They were coming here to terrorize and uproot an indigenous population in which this country belongs to. So with that, family, I want to say, Uhuru! Freedom to all!
All right, freedom. So I'm going to call 2-3 speakers at a time just for you to be up front. So our next speakers will be Representative Daddy Joseph. Daddy Joseph. And Sarah Juice and Malik. Okay. Dinah and Kevin. So please come up. Daddy, Representative right here, Daddy. I'm right here. Okay, and then we're going to have you, and then we're going to have you.
Good morning. Bonjour. Buenos dias. So our communities are under attack. And I say our communities, it's actually one community. But we see what's going on with this administration, and it beyond breaks our heart. Right here where we're standing, we had a woman die in detention. A Haitian woman, Marie Ange Blaise. They're telling us that they did what they could, but we're getting reports from the Miami Herald that she was complaining about heart issues and it went unaddressed. She is one of 11 people, at least, that we're aware of who have died in ICE custody. Just this week, we had a Cuban gentleman pass away in ICE custody. We have actually a second one. So I need people to understand what's going on. The narrative, people will want you to believe that they are trying to lock up immigrants who are criminals. And we know that that is not true. These are people who have done everything right, who are doing things the right way, who were legally admitted to this country, some of whom have pending asylum claims. And right now, this administration is playing games with people. People are showing up to their appointments, doing what they're supposed to do, following the law, and they are using the system to manipulate it and then trying to get them out of detention and out of proceedings so that they can deport them. This is not what due process is. This is not what this country is supposed to be about. Now, for people who are in the Hispanic community, I want to highlight a couple things that happened this week. So alligator Alcatraz, which is under litigation from various environmental groups right now, is something that should not even exist. That land, I understand, that land is supposed to be there for the Native American people who are surrounding that land. But instead of doing that, what they are doing is using that land in contravention of federal law. There are a lot of procedures that should have been followed that have not been followed as it relates to alligator Alcatraz. And what they're doing is, for them, this is fun and games. They're raising money off of people's pain. That's what they're using this for. They don't care about who is going to be there. Right now, there's flooding just this week. Imagine when they actually try to put people there. There's no air conditioning. This is the conditions that they want people in there for. And I need people to understand what is going on. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. As state representatives, several went to try to visit. There was a question about that earlier, and they were turned away. Why? Because this is all political games for these people. And I want us to know.
2 minutes. We got lots of speakers, guys. I have to abide. 2 minutes. 1 minute.
Yes, 2 minutes. Everybody's like, 1 more minute. Okay.
1 more minute.
So, I want people to understand what's going on right now. This is an attack on all of us. When people are telling us that there are 11 million undocumented people, but you have tweets going on saying that they're going to have 63 million alligator meals, and gator bait, which is something that we know in the black community what that means. And when you correspond what that 63 million is, it's the Hispanic community. I need you to understand, this has nothing to do with criminality. It has nothing to do with people not doing things the right way, and everything to do with an agenda. When you have this big, beautiful budget that had just passed, and it's stripping away Medicaid, healthcare, all these things from everyday Americans who need it, low-income Americans, just to provide tax cuts for the billionaires, and their justification on the congressional floor by the vice president is because they're dealing with the immigrant problem. I need you to understand that they are playing games with us. They don't care about you. It's time. We need to stand up and stand up now because we're all on the chopping block.
All right, we're going to call the next two speakers, and I'm allowing you again 2 minutes. So, Dina, I have Dina from Escalment and of course, Jules from Escalment.
I want you to remember that this country is standing on the courage, the blood, the strength of immigrants. It has been that way before, it is now, it will be. Ever since we were small. So nothing was given us free. We had to work for it. So we're gonna keep on working for it. Today we are here and we'll be coming again. But they have to remember, don't touch the immigrant, you'll get burned. Don't touch the immigrant, you'll get burned. Don't touch. Pamaye immigrant wa boule tande. Pamaye immigrant wa boule. Pamaye immigrant wa boule tande. Pamaye immigrant wa boule. Pamaye immigrant wa boule tande. Pamaye immigrant wa boule. Pamaye immigrant wa boule. Pamaye immigrant wa boule. Pamaye immigrant wa boule.
When I say no, you say ice. No? Ice! No? Ice! Good evening. Good morning. Is it still morning? Good morning, everyone. My name is Dinah Escarment. I'm here on behalf of the Escarment Foundation for the Needy. As our previous representative spoke about, we are here. This is a space where we had a Haitian woman who died right there in Pompano, right? So this is a sentimental area where we are right now. There are a lot of things that are going on. The 287G agreement that we've been fighting against, and they're not listening to us because they're still passing these things that are affecting us. I have a clear message here today. I am tired of every 12, 18 months fighting for TPS. My message here today is we need a path to clear residency and citizenship for the immigrant people.
Yes.
Can we agree on that? Yes. That is my short and clear message. Every so often we're coming back and we're fighting and we're fighting and we're fighting and they're not getting it. We are an asset to the American economy. Republicans are having issues with this as well. This is not only a Democrat thing. I'm here speaking on as a nonpartisan event platform. That means we have Democrats here with us, we have Republicans here with us, because a lot of people are having issues with some of these things that are going on. It's affecting us as taxpayers. It's costing a lot of money to allocate those funds into things that they should not be allocated towards. Okay, so one message, we need to fight for a path for residency, for citizenship, so the fight can end and we can stop putting our people to suffer under these harmful conditions. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys continue to fight.
We have with us Commissioner Hazel Rogers from Broward County. Please join us, Commissioner. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Are you ready to fight?
Yes!
So anybody said, yes, wrong. We are ready to offer solutions. Yes. That's what it's all about. This is awesome. This is good. But I want to hear solutions. I'm a policymaker. Doesn't matter if I'm a Democrat or I sit on a board that we make policy. And I have not seen one come across the county desk as of yet. I have not seen one that I can connect with my colleagues and say this is important. But there's one that I do know. A pathway to citizenship has been there for the longest. There's no reason for us not to continue to advocate that and make that. If you solve that issue, you have solved half of our problem. Not all, but halfway there. So I'm asking you to continue to look at policies that we as elected officials can go ahead and advocate for. All right? And it takes unity. Freedom for all, because what goes around, oftentimes comes around. Don't forget, what goes around comes around. It takes all of us. It's all around. Unity. It's all fight together. Fighting. We're talking about legislation that we can all support. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to call The next two speakers, Gypsy McKinney from Sutla and Moline. Where's Moline? There you are. Come on. These are partners. We're happy you give them out today.
Thank you, Ms. Gitel. Good morning, everyone. I stand before you today as a proud immigrant, an immigrant who understands that it is up to us to stand with us and to stand for us, especially those of us who cannot stand for themselves. It's so important that we remind our fellow Americans of our immigrant story, our collective immigrant story, as a nation of immigrants, a nation built, enriched, revitalized time and time again by immigrants like us. And so I'm reminding everyone that we share a proud legacy, a legacy of work, a legacy of family, a legacy of education, a legacy of community, a legacy of resilience, of community building and community revitalization. So it's based on that legacy that we need to remind ourselves that we need to today protect, defend, empower ourselves by this legacy such that we can stand up and push back on all of the ugly policies that are attempting to erode this legacy that we all share. So we are immigrants, we are proud to be immigrants, and a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. So let's remind everyone of that fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speakers are, we have Moline, if Moline is here, and then we'll have Noah.
July 4th is always a reminder to fight for independence. As I stand here before you today, I ask you all, whose independence are we truly fighting for? Who are we truly celebrating? In February of 2026, temporary protective service will expire. Why is this important? The Haitian people have been and are still being starved, terrorized, and abused by foreign interests. Even if you don't have a sense of exploitation specific to the Haitian people, look into the story of your own ancestral home, country. Exploitation and abuse is not a reinvention of the wheel. You will most likely have a similar story to tell yourself. Now in 2025, between the rape and pillage of the land and the people, deportations, paramilitary groups, and hired mercenaries, there will be an increased escalation of an already slow and very present genocide of the Haitian people. Now more than ever, we must be loud, bold, strategic, persistent, and brave. Bravery is not without fear. It simply means that we are intentional about pushing through those fears. I want to recite the poem written by Martin Molière, who was a German pastor. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists. I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. This is a reminder that silence is our biggest enemy. I want you to look to your person on your left and say, "You're my family. It is my job to protect you."
You're my family. It is my job to protect you.
Now look to the person on your right and repeat, "You are my family. It is my job to protect you."
You are my family. It is my job to protect you.
It is time to start looking at each other as brothers and sisters. Union fait la force. Meaning there is strength in unity. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. The descendants of Dessalines.
Together we can!
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. I'm very proud member. We're all very proud members of this beautiful coalition. We're not here today only as allies and advocates, but as good-hearted human beings who support each other and stand together during times against injustice. We're here because silence is not an option when families are being torn apart, when mothers are going to sleep with tears in their eyes, when fathers have no idea when they'll see their children. We call on our elected leaders and officials to take immediate action because lives are at stake. To end 2870 agreements that have spread fear in our neighborhoods and eroded trust between law enforcement and the very communities they are meant to protect. To restore and expand TPS protection that has been created for moments like this, for people fleeing war, disaster, and humanitarian crisis. We We demand the reinstatement of the CHMB program, which was a beacon of hope for people. We demand the end of the travel bans. No one should be banned from this country because of where they were born or how they prayed. And finally, to stop the unlawful deportations. Deporting people without due process is not just a legal failure, it's a human rights violation. We're not asking for favors, we're asking for fairness. We're not asking for pity, we're asking for policies. We're not asking for silence, we're asking for solidarity.
Our next speaker is Wilfredo.
Hola.
Hola.
Yo soy Wilfredo Ruiz, yo soy el director de comunicaciones del Consejo de Relaciones Islamico-Americanas, Cher, Florida. Cuando los criminales gobiernan, como pasa ahora, las injusticias suceden. Cuando los criminales están gobernando, las injusticias suceden. When criminals are in office, injustices happen. So we're standing here against injustice. We're standing here against the criminals that want to imprison the workers upon which shoulders this country was built upon. Los musulmanes, the Muslims are not new here. Muslims helped build this country. They were brought against their will and were slaves hundreds of years ago. So the white immigrants don't want us to hear our voices. Those were sons of immigrants. Pretty soon they forget they're immigrants themselves. You hear me, Marco Rubio? You hear me, De Cruz? Those sons of immigrants soon forget they were sons of immigrants as we are. So we are standing against injustice. We will not tolerate these criminals to rule and criminalize and persecute our families that are just here in peace building this nation. Assalamu alaikum, may Allah's peace be with you.
We would like to call on Winnie Tang.
Good afternoon, morning, good afternoon, whatever that you are. My name is Winnie Tang. I'm the Vice President for Asian American Federation of Foreigners. We are doing the work in the Asian community in the state of Florida and also in other part of the country as well. And coming here together, I think it's so important that we know injustice really happen not only to one, it's to all. We are standing here to fighting for everybody, and I just want to bring back a little bit of the history. This Chinese is the 150 years ago have to build the railroad to connecting the East and West Coast, and then so we can have better traveling and better economic growth in this country. But after that one, we still got musculing and pasculing and then in this country. And today, and we are working so hard, and then they come over here. I just have someone also working hard, have a restaurant, and then supporting the family. And one day, walk out his house, he got detained by ICE. And now the family have to quickly to show the business, and the children, they have to think about what they're going to live because they lost their income. They cannot really have their own house to live right now. So we are standing here that we know behind us, and a lot of people be detaining without any due process. We are coming here and together to really stand united together because we've been separating. They all really want us to break down. But we are here together. You look around here in the room, we have so many representations. And our voice need to be speak for those ones who lacked up, could not have the voice to voice it. So I'm standing here and then to ask all of you to really speak out for them. That's, we need to know peace can work together. And also one thing, compassion have no back borders. So that's why we all come here together. Thank you.
Our next speakers are Theolin and Grace from Florida Rising.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Carpenter. I'm a Pompano Beach resident. I'm a Pompano Beach resident for 26 years. I am a Catholic, and this is one of the reasons why I'm here to support my brothers and my sisters. Many of you might be aware. Russia to fight. And that is why I'm very concerned. No matter how long you've been here, it could be like 5 years in this country, 10 years in this country, without documents, or without documents, things will pick up. So we should not allow we need to understand something, that Broward local enforcement is here to protect our communities, our families, without being bringing fears to our communities. So they should not be harmful. We also need to be aware that our parents now should be able to partial here. All these agreements is working together. And for this reason, we should not allow this to happen. Please, I want to pray because I'm a Catholic. We should not allow this to happen for our brothers and sisters. Please,
Speak up!
Good morning, everyone. My name is M.P. Johnson. I am a Haitian American woman and a combat veteran, a former immigrant detainee at Broward Transitional Center, and the founder of USGAD, a community-centered initiative leading the justice campaign for Marie Ange Blaise, demanding due process and dignity in detention. As someone who has both lived this experience and written about it publicly in the Sun Sentinel, I know too well the silence that surrounds the stories.
business owners,
who are tax preparers, beauticians, the barbers. We want to be specific about this industry so they can be giving the right to citizenship, to at least their green card. Caretakers and group homes. I stand before you being specific, advocating for the cleaners, those housekeepers who goes to individual houses, cafeteria workers, construction, factory workers. We are building a A to Z list so you include also drivers. Drivers who are TPS holders or not illegals. Those in the industry of food delivery, dishwashers in restaurants, farmers. We mentioned already the factory workers. We said hospitalities, including the housekeepers. They are human as well. Yes. Healthcare workers from HHA, diplomas, you got it, diplomas, they have a diploma. CNAs, also landscaping, and lastly, the students. We come here organized, we come here with strategy, and when you refer to ADAP, just remember those industries and those TPS holders.
Thank you. And we're going to keep it quick, just a few more people. So we have with us Jamil Richards from Next Generation.
God bless you all. My name is Pastor Richards, and I stand before you today not just as a voice, but as a brother, a neighbor, and a friend in the immigrant community. We are living in a time where families are being torn apart, not because of wrongdoing, but because of broken systems and unjust enforcement. ICE was never meant to be a symbol of fear, yet too many of our brothers and sisters has become just that. Let me be clear, no human being is illegal. Borders may divide land, but they should never divide our dignity, our humanity, and our children's future. We cannot turn a blind eye while parents live in fear of school drop-off, hospital visits, or even a knock at the door. We must demand justice, not just in word, but in policy, in protection, and in practical solutions that restore the soul of our nation. To every immigrant family hearing this, you are not alone. We see you, we love you, and we are fighting with you. I want to speak especially to the families who are afraid to send their children to school. We understand your fear, and we've created a safe space for your children to learn and grow without threat or fear. Our schools offer both in-person and online education for your peace of mind. Your child's future is too important to pause because of injustice. Let's keep fighting, let's keep building, and let's make justice not just an idea, but a reality for all. God bless you.
Ça passe! Nous partons pour notre bataille! Ça passe! I stand here today before you on behalf of Women Alliance for Black and Broward, a non-profit organization who's been fighting since 1998. And we are here again in 2025 fighting for fair immigration. Today, we have an administration who does not know or ignore that Congress exists, and it's ignoring the judiciary as well. We are here fighting a colossal fight. It's the Goliath, Samson against Goliath. And we must continue. They count on us to be afraid. They're counting on us to not fight back. But we will fight back. That's the only way we will win. So let me ask you, are you ready to fight? Yes! Are we ready to fight? Yes! Until the end, we will not stop by. And I ask you, everybody, Republicans, NPS, Democrats, non-party affiliations or independent, to keep up the fight with us. And it doesn't matter what religion or what race you're coming from, this fight is for everybody. Yes. Because right now, they're taking money from poor people and giving it to billionaires, and the rest of us, 99%, we are next.
So don't forget we are the next group and we will fight. People united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Our next two speakers will be Paula B. from Trump and former Broward County Mayor Sheila.
Bonjour tout le monde! Okay, my name is Paul Sheila. I'm the political director of the Family Action Network Movement. I will be very brief because the former mayor deserves all of our attention. While we stand here in front of Broward Transition Center, where we lost our community member, Marie Ange Blaise, uplifting Carolyn Johnson, and Joseph, and Sandra, and Christine, and all those who have fought to keep her memory alive, our demands are very simple. We need to remain focused on keeping families together and not shattering them by this anti-immigrant policy. We're asking for justice for immigrants. We are asking for respect for TPS designations based on country conditions where people face fear if they're deported. We are asking for justice for the CHNB parole beneficiaries who came here for 2 years. This administration has arbitrarily cut short the time for many of them and for their right also to the just status when they're eligible. We are asking to rescind the asylum restrictions. We are asking, of course, to fight against the travel ban, which is shattering families, and we are speaking against the 287 agreements, which are forcing our local law enforcement into roles of basically doing ICE bidding and eroding the trust between the police and our community members. Justice for immigrants, justice for immigrants.
Yeah, I know. I got it in my eye too.
This inhumane treatment of our immigrant neighbors it's totally un-American. Most Americans are compassionate. In fact, polls are now showing that the American people, by majority, does not support this kind of treatment of immigrant people. While I was mayor of Broward County, we lauded our immigrants as essential workers. We still need these immigrants to help grow our economy. 5 of the top 10 Fortune 500 companies are run by immigrants. Immigrants are an integral part of our community. I call on all Americans to call on the U.S. Senate, the U.S. Congress to change these positions, especially the Republicans. Republicans need to become compassionate. They need to listen to the people and ensure that we're having justice for all our people.
Great. As you can see, the sky is about to drop. Yes. I'm gonna 1 minute because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Our next speaker is Cher.
Oh, she better speak. Come on now.
Hello, everyone. I'm here for National Duty. I just came from the region representing our organization. But one thing that I want to say is that TPS is a humanitarian group designed to protect lives during extraordinary and temporary crises. The ongoing conditions in Haiti worsened by widespread gang control, displacement, and lack of basic services clearly warrant its continued. Deporting individuals to such instability would contradict both American values and international human rights standards. I just want to say that Haitians has contributed to the U.S. overall, whether it's through our labor, our intellectual property, and our ability to build society. So, moving forward, we should no longer be okay with enough. We should no longer be okay with just being present, no longer being grateful for just sitting at the table. We are the standard, and we have set the standard for nations ongoing and currently to this day. Thank you.
I'm going to call Marie Sheila from Engage, as well as Sakari, you go next.
Hello, my name is Cher. I'm outreach coordinator for Engage, Florida. Actually went to school right down the road at Blanche Ely High School. So I'm a proud Blanche Ely Tiger as well. Right now, our thoughts are here together. We're stunned in disbelief. The struggle is real, but it's real to an end. This will end. We'll work towards that end. We stand together, united with common desire to help all of our brothers and sisters in their moments of need during this period of anxiety. United in purposeful, organized action to ensure that we, in our own way, improve the situation of all of those, all countries, all areas affected by such heightened anxiety, tragic jailing of innocent, good, hard-working people, and destruction of family and disruption of decent lives. We stand with you. Nous campons avec vous. We stand united. Nous campons unis. America, we are your current future. Current future. Together, we walk proudly towards that future. We stand in solidarity with our Haitian brothers and sisters who always stand with us and stand in support of all of our communities. Activists such as Cathal Ruiz-Nichols here, activists such as Paul Nampi, Florida Action Network Movement, and Miami-Dade Commissioner Marlene Bastien, as well as Gunty Joseph. I see also so many people we could say, right? Also, Haiti is an important country. Haiti say, yom pe important. Haitians are good people. Haitians say yom bon moun. We call for this country, our country, to do a much better job and to help our countries of origin, our familiar countries, instead of many times causing harm, doing more harm than good. Down with racism, suspend à racist. Down with xenophobia, suspend à xenophobie. Support Haiti now, support the Haiti, Kanye A, once and for all. Young Bon Foi, and I hope my Creole was okay.
All right, so we're getting ready to wrap things up. Once again, my name is Cathal Ruiz-Nichols. It's been a real honor to kind of moderate this event, and as you can see, we have nothing but passion. But to wrap up our event, we're going to call on again Representative Dottie Joseph.
This is just for the community right now. If you don't know anything about your status or you have questions, please consult with an immigration attorney. Don't listen to what somebody said, any random attorney, somebody who practices immigration. There are options for you, but you need to understand what's going on in your particular case. Don't just listen to what you hear out in the streets. That is number one. Make a plan. If you don't have a plan, if you are picked up, if you are detained, if you are deported, who knows what to do with your children? Who have your finances? Make sure you have a power of attorney. Talk to an attorney to talk about what some of the things you need to do to structure for what's going on in your community. Stay tuned on my social media, Dottie Joseph on Instagram. We're going to be posting some town halls that will go over this in a whole lot more detail than this format, but you are not alone. We have made it through worse. We will make it through this together. Now we're going to open it up for questions briefly before the rain takes us over. No questions? Okay, good. It's a wrap. Thank you.